the network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
This is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.
Greetings and welcome, everybody, to AVNation TV's Connected. I'm your host, David Danto, and here's your other host, Tim Albright.
Hello there.
We are at Enterprise Connect 2022. It's the first Enterprise Connect in nearly 3 years, and we're at the Poly Pool Party. We're going to do a couple of interviews with some of the Poly people and the Poly partners, and it's going to be an awesome show. And what have you thought of your first Enterprise Connect so far?
So it's a different show. I think it's got some really great technology. You guys have got some cool stuff. Obviously, the word right now is hybrid, 100%. You know, and so everybody's showing things to both work from the house, work from the coffee shop, but also come into the office from time to time, and hotel, which is another popular phrase.
Yeah, no, and there were a lot of great people on the show floor. Everybody's having supply chain issues, but they weren't afraid to be here and talk to people, with a couple of major exceptions. But other than that, you know, I mean, I think it's been a great show for everybody. The sessions have been crowded and awesome. Nobody's bothering to wear masks, which we're probably all going to get sick. As you're watching this, we'll probably all be homesick. And not necessarily from COVID, just, you know, everybody's been hugging. A guy I know that I've worked with for 20 years, I'm going to see him, I'm going to hug him. That's what everybody's been doing. It's just been a very friendly show because we've all been dying to get back together. I mean, your experience too?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's been, you know, I met Erwin Lazar for the first time in real life, right? I met Erwin virtually about 2 years ago about this time. And so it's been very neat to kind of see some folks, old friends that I haven't seen in person for a minute, but also folks that I've met through the pandemic virtually, see them in real life.
Okay, so we're going to definitely give you some B-roll of what this party looks like, and then we're going to come back on with a bunch of segments back and forth. We'll introduce you to some people. You'll get a lot of great knowledge. We won't take a lot of your time today.
Yep. No.
Okay, so joining me right now is Eric Kraft. Did I say your name right, or did they pronounce it wrong earlier today?
I think it probably depends on how traditional German you want to go, but I think in general it's Kraft.
Kraft. Okay, so Eric Kraft is with me. He is the general manager of Enterprise Connect. Wishing him some great success. We've finally gotten together after 2+ years. First time I'm not seeing you like in a Zoom or a Teams screen going back and forth. We've been here for 2 days now. Tell me what's your impression of the show so far.
Well, it's been wonderful, and I mean, really, my main impression has been just that of people being so happy to be here, happy to be together, having the chance to do this kind of informal networking and talking, and having a little time to really, you know, not be pushed into meeting after meeting after meeting. That stuff was great, and it's so awesome to keep us going. But in terms of the in-person experience, people have been loving that. And that's really extends to then what the conversations I think have been in the hot topics in terms of hybrid work, video. The contact center has been a hot topic. I mean, I think those have really been the main things.
And you know, I'm thinking back to like family parties. You know, it's the last time I hugged this many men in my life. You know, with where, you know, you're going up to people you haven't seen for 10 years, 5 years, or even just the 2 years, and, you know, you're embracing. It's like, look, we survived. We made it. It's really a very warm feeling I'm getting from everybody.
Yeah, the vibe has just been fabulous, and people have just been, the energy's been great, and the show floor has just been there's just been this positive, upbeat feeling.
And I was also impressed, 8 a.m. on Monday, there weren't any seats in the room. It was filled, and I don't know where you were in terms of your planning, and I'm not asking you for numbers, but it really looks like almost everybody showed up and really had a good time.
Yeah, we're very happy with our numbers. We don't give them out specifically, but we're very happy with them. And, you know, to the point, this has always been an early crowd. They'll get up for an 8 o'clock session. They cram as much as they can into 3.5 days, and so we try to give them as much content as we can.
Yeah, and I also was very impressed with the fact that when we were on the stages today and we had all the panels, people stayed for the panel discussions. It wasn't just bouncing in and out for the keynotes like have been done in the past.
Well, and especially because this morning we had an enterprise panel. Gary Lasasso, who I think you introduced us to from Amicus Therapeutics, was on that panel. and was amazing, did a wonderful job. And the real hardcore attendees of the show who are enterprise people, that's what they love. They love hearing from their peers.
All right, so this year is going to be obviously a terrific success. We wrap this up in another day and a half, and we let to sleep again. Those of us who want to sleep get to sleep again. What's the story for next year? What are you planning? What's the dates? What are the times? What's happening?
Well, next year it's going to be March 27th through the 30th, back here at the Gaylord Palms in Orlando. And I think our plan now, and of course we have to see what the next 12-month spring, but, I think where we're going to come out of this from as a program committee is, where is hybrid work gone? What, and how do we build towards some of the things that we've seen as important themes? These themes around employee experience, employee wellness. I think what are some new ways to approach that? What are some new ways to build new elements around that? We want to keep it fresh and new, and so how can we build off of what we've learned here?
And the last question for me today, I know that you did this as a hybrid show, so there's a digital piece. So if people had registered for the show, they still have time to watch some of the sessions online if they missed them, right?
That's correct. We put about half of our sessions online. If you attended here live, you can also access recorded sessions afterwards. But that's what we're and I think we're all still testing the market. What should a hybrid event look like? And we've tried this version. I think we'll assess what we need to tweak, and we'll keep moving ahead on that.
Eric, thank you, and congratulations on your success.
Thank you so much. You've been a wonderful help to us and a great friend to the show, and I couldn't thank you enough.
Thanks a lot.
All right, with me right now, thank you, Mr. Dento, is Bo Wilder from Poly. Welcome, sir.
Pleasure to be here.
One of the things that is kind of an overarching theme, I think in general here at this year's Enterprise Connect, certainly in the Poly booth, is meeting equity, hybrid work, but really that idea that everybody in the meeting, whether they're physically in the same space or not, they all have a chance to be successful and add, contribute to the meeting. What does meeting equity mean to Poly?
Yeah, I think it's making sure that whether you're in the room or you're remote, you have an equal spot at the table. Okay. I think what we've learned over the last 2 years of the pandemic is, as we were all virtual participants, that happened by default. We were all in our own personal grid. We all had the same opportunity to virtually raise our hands or interject into the conversation. As we go to hybrid working and half the people are in the office, half are remote, we need to be able to bring that same continuity to those meetings. So we're doing a lot of innovation at the edge with our cameras, with our audio, to make sure that we're always bringing the human experience to the front. So you can see the facial expressions, the body language. If you're a remote participant, you get all that beautiful human context that you would get in the room, but just having it happen naturally through the technology and our cameras.
You said a phrase there that I want to make sure that everybody understands, at least from Poly's perspective, using the edge.
Yeah.
When we're using the edge for processing, we're leveraging these devices, these appliances, and putting the smarts and the parts inside there. What does that do for us as an industry, but also for the folks that are using this on a daily basis?
Yeah, so it makes it a truly seamless experience, right? So when you do it at the edge, you don't have any concerns about latency. You get all of that context that if you had to go to the cloud to get it, there's a delay to do that. I think the other thing is, we're partnered with a bunch of cloud partners, so Teams and Zoom and a bunch of others. They have a certain amount of plumbing that we have to work with and a certain amount of canvas that we work with, but we have so much opportunity with doing our AI and ML at the edge to innovate on what that video and audio stream looks like to the far end without having to wait for that additional plumbing and canvas from the partners.
Last question here. I mentioned the fact that hybrid is certainly a common theme here this week. It's also obviously been a common theme over the last year as darn near every Fortune 500 company and others have talked about going back into the office, regardless of what your company's plan is. It's a variance of all remote, all in person, but there's a hybrid part in there. What do you see when it comes to getting back in the office and kind of the future of how hybrid's going to work?
Yeah. I think we have to draw people back into the office. I think it's very clear for, very high profile companies that have tried to decree people were going back to the office. They've had to very publicly walk that back because the best and the brightest will find somebody who will let them work the way that they want to work. So I think our challenge and the opportunity as an industry is to deliver experiences that we can do on campus that will pull people back in and really set up a differentiated experience for them.
Well, Wilder from Poly. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Tim.
So our next guest is Rob Watley from AVI Systems. Rob, why don't you tell everybody what you do at AVI Systems, a little bit about yourself?
Hey everyone, Rob Watley. I am the UC practice manager at AVI Systems. I actually live here close by in Tampa, so it's a quick drive for me to drive up here. So I do a lot and work a lot with all of the platforms, Cisco, Microsoft. We talk a lot about the ecosystem play. So it's nice to see here at the event, all these players, by the way, on stage at the same time talking about interoperability and all those types of things. So that's the conversation that I'm having a lot, with my customers.
Yeah, that's the old nostalgia point. We've been talking about interoperability at this trade show for at least the last 10 or 15 years. It's worse now and not better. But what are the things that you're gaining from the show in terms of the themes that you're hearing? What are your top 2 or 3 takeaways that you're going to tell your teammates about?
Well, it's more about, believe it or not, it's more about getting together with the people and talking to the manufacturers. For me, I have not seen these folks in quite some time. There's lots of things that are going on. Cisco, a lot of contact center right here at this show, and some video conference center I'm hearing a little bit about through Zoom. But most importantly for me, it's just kind of getting together with the manufacturers, having these private meetings with the manufacturers, trying to figure out what's going on with the supply chain, and talking about how our businesses can actually help each other. That's kind of what I'm here to do, and just kind of shake hands, right? And meet with you, Dave, and have these types of conversations. The show is great. I'm not sure how many customers we have here, but I've seen a lot of customers in the booth, like Poly, obviously, and Neat and others. So I see customers, roaming around, and it may not be as large as it has been, but I see some pretty good conversations going on here at Enterprise Connect. So.
Yeah, I think it was really the idea of finally getting back together with the people in the industry. I've been doing more hugs over the last couple of hours than I have, in weeks, and I'm hugging people that I wouldn't normally hug, and I don't know if I'm hugging them because I love them, but I hug them because I love being able to see them, and that we're together.
Right. Well, here's the funny thing about that, too. I tell everyone, a couple of things are happening while we're at the show. You're like, I recognize you from somewhere, right? But I can't quite place
you got to
it.
take out your phone and look at it on the video.
That's exactly right. So that's one of the things that are happening. But we are not conditioned for meeting in person. Everyone's tired now, I hear people last night, I went to bed at 10 o'clock, I was so tired. I wonder why. I'm like, well, our stamina is not there yet for meeting in person. It's pretty crazy, right?
We haven't built up the muscle. So give us a quickie. Tell us about the kind of projects that AVI Systems are working on right now without revealing any details that you're not supposed to say.
Oh, lots of projects. We like to say it's Microsoft season, so lots of projects around MTR worldwide. AVI Systems is now part of the GPA, so our Global Partner Alliance. So we're doing a lot of work around the country with MTR. But business is booming. The pipeline is there. Supply chain is a problem, but we have a lot of projects. Unfortunately, those projects can't be delivered just yet, and that's an issue.
Well, you've got a lot of vendors here at the show that are being completely honest and having meetings with distributors and partners. We're at the partner conference here right now because we're going to be straight with you. We're going to say, this is what we have, this is what we can get, this is when we can get it, and we're going to have those conversations. And you have a couple of really big names that aren't here that are afraid to have those conversations.
Yes.
And that's a little sad.
Yeah.
They should have been here and been straight with everybody. This is a person-to-person business. I don't know if you feel the same way, but I've been feeling strongly about that ever since I saw that they weren't here.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. But the folks that are here, we're having those conversations, and I'm not going to worry about the folks that are not, right? So I can only control what we can control. But the folks that are here are forthright. I've met with your Poly team earlier today, some of the executives, and had the same type of conversation. So, and honest and straightforward and focused conversations on supply chain and a lot of other things as well.
So we all try and help each other, and all boats rise with the tide.
Absolutely.
So
Right.
if somebody wants to find out more about Rob or more about AVI Systems, what can they do to find out?
Well, you can go to avisystems.com, or you can email me at rob.watley@avisystems.com.
Rob, always a pleasure. Thanks a lot. You're going to go find the closest cigar bar, right?
That's right, exactly. I'm on my way.
All right. And now with me, poolside, is my good friend, Mr. Dave Hatz. How are you, sir?
Doing awesome, bud.
Say go Bears.
I don't think so.
All right. He's a Packers fan. It's okay. Dave is with Room Ready. Talk for a second about why you're here, why Room Ready is at Enterprise Connect.
So, as our focus is, on the technology relevant to our customers, we're here sort of in two focuses. One is to just understand what the new technology is, what's relevant, where our vendor partners are going. The second is actually the strategic meetings with our vendors, going and getting behind the scenes. Again, where are they going to be in 6 months, so that we can advise our customers on trends that are relevant. Obviously, the things we talk about, some things we can share, some we can't, but we're really focused on understanding that journey that society is moving on now, as we're all coming back into the office after the pandemic, as we're all trying to gather data points of what's relevant, what keeps meeting the business needs of our customers. And so a show like Enterprise Connect really brings that, it brings more data points together. You and I, we sat at lunch together and we're talking about different things we're seeing. Yep. And we're, by all marks, we're frenemies in the business world, but yet we come together in an event like this and share experience that helps all of our customers move forward.
So I want to get your perspective on this, because Dave is worked in the industry for a long time, number of integrators. Talk for a second about kind of the contrast between Sennheiser, Poly, right? We're at the Poly party tonight, but also they're here, right? But you also have these companies that you would never see at Infocom, right? You would never see at ISE. What exactly are we gaining from those folks that are here, and what kind of insights can we get from folks that, again, we would never see at a trade show, that we would be more AV specific?
That's a really interesting point, because as we're looking to bring solutions to our customers, the IT world is going through many of the transformations that we did in the AV industry over the last decades. And so, as for myself as an integrator, we're looking for how do we bring relevance to our customers and, again, meet those business challenges they have. If we limit ourselves to what we see at Infocom, to the solution set, and those, the vendors that we're comfortable with, that brings a set of solutions and can help us. But by expanding our horizon, really understanding Poly, the areas that they're emphasizing and the products they're emphasizing, many of those go into the personal devices, which are an area that the traditional AV integrator really doesn't focus on. And it's part of a complete solution of the workplace, and our customers have very real needs there. And so, from my perspective, the more we can diversify, the more we can gain additional perspective, it really just helps us bring a better value to our customers.
What is, one thing that you're already taking back to your team at Room Ready and to your customers?
Oh boy. Well, I got to be careful here because we are at a Poly event sitting here poolside, but I would say the announcement of one of the other device manufacturers and having Teams certification around a personal display that frames you up in a different way than you might otherwise see, if I could say that's sort of politically correct, was really exciting. And so it's a different device category, or a form factor to a device category that Microsoft has been developing. That's just really exciting, and just one more tool in the toolbox.
All right, Dave, if somebody wants to connect with you or Room Ready, how do they do that?
Best way, find me on LinkedIn. Dave Hatz on LinkedIn. My email, dhats@roomready.com. You can find us at roomready.com. We're happy to help anyone who's interested to talk.
Anyway.
Okay, so joining me right now is Gary Sorrentino of Zoom. Gary, thanks very much for joining us here today on AVNation TV.
Oh, thank you very much. What a great day to be outside.
Isn't it? It's awesome here. So you're one of the few people like me that transitioned from financial services into something else. You went from financial services over to Zoom. What's that been like to be able to make that switch?
I don't know. I retired from financial services, and then within weeks I was with Zoom. But I got to tell you that during the pandemic, I've been in technology almost 42 years now, with the last two being at Zoom, and the last two have been the best in my whole career. It's been great being able to help people all over the world.
It's fun, right? It's a pain in the neck. It's difficult. It's sleepless nights. It's bad, hard days, but it's fun doing this.
Yeah, but we were used to that, right, from being on the financial side, right? But now maybe it's just more purpose, right? Maybe now I'm actually able to work closer with companies all over the world. I'm actually seeing the difference in the end user.
So I know we're recording this on Tuesday afternoon, and Wednesday morning you're going to be giving your keynote. Don't reveal anything for anybody who hasn't seen it, but let us know what are the main themes of your keynote going to be.
So we've been working with clients all over the world, and they got it down to three things right now. It really is about improving the employee experience. Employees are coming back, and they're just not spending enough time in the offices because they're more productive from home. So really, how are we going to improve the employee experience? The second thing is it's about client engagement. We don't want to admit it sometimes, but our clients, didn't they go through the same thing we went through? And now they're buying products and services in such a different way. All right, I'm going to give you one little snippet from the keynote.
Sure.
Last Saturday night, I was in New York. Around 11:30, I got a ping from one of the food apps, and it said, ice cream, ? It's 11:30 at night. I hit it, and it said, we can have 2 quarts of ice cream at your door within 30 minutes. Let's just say they were delicious, right? But they've changed it. And so it's about how are we going to do better things with the employees? How are we going to engage our clients in different ways? And this really falls under this one. We got to transform our business. And that was a really good way of saying, I don't know if that fits in the client enhancement or the transformation. All I know is 2 quarts of ice cream on a Saturday night delivered to my door. Great.
Gary, how can people find out more about Zoom or get in touch with you if they need to?
I tell everybody, my name is Gary Sorrentino. I'm gary.sorrentino@zoom.us. Just drop me a note, right?
Gary, it's a pleasure.
Always
Enjoy the
a
rest of your
pleasure,
show.
David. Thank you.
All right, now, kind of, sort of, this is the guy. Is the reason that we're all here. Nick is from Poly. So, how are you, sir?
Good. It's great to be in sunny weather and with all these great people.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk for a second about what it means for Poly and for you guys. I have joked, but you were the partner guy at
the
Poly.
partner guy.
So this event is yours.
Correct.
What does it mean to Poly to finally get together after 2-3 years of COVID and pandemic to get in person, face to face with your partners?
It's really, first of all, it's gratifying to see so many people safe, so many people that have been very patient through all of what we've all been through, to now have them not multitasking on their monitors, and you can actually look them in the eye and have a conversation and follow up. It's been really, really, really good. And I would just wish that all of our partners could be here, and hopefully we'll get a chance to do this in some other places shortly as well.
That was actually going to be my next question.
Yep.
Is this, I would say that this is a rather successful week for Enterprise Connect, but also for you guys.
Yep.
What sort of either regional, local, or other sort of national or international events are you guys looking forward to now that this one's come off?
So both domestic and globally, one thing I'm really happy about, getting back on a plane so I can get some sleep. Unfortunately, I got a lot of COVID shots. I've just been in London, and I'm on my way to Singapore in 2 weeks, and then we've got ISE in April that got delayed. So yeah, we're gonna be at the bigger events, but also more importantly, what I'm really looking forward to is we're booking a bunch of roadshows.
Good.
We're gonna do 10 cities in North America. We've got 10 cities booked in Europe, and they're going to be small venues where we're just going to get an opportunity to do the exact same thing. Maybe not to this scale, But we're really looking forward to those.
All right, next, so talk to your partners for a second about kind of what you guys see, what you're talking about this week, right?
Okay.
Meeting equity, hybrid work, making sure that the employees have what they need
Absolutely.
to be successful. How are you going to how are you able to connect that messaging to your partners so they can deliver that to their customers?
Yeah, I think as we've now returned to somewhat of normalcy, if anybody hasn't had a look at today's and this week's information we put out in the press release about meeting equality and making sure that there's no inequity in the meetings. When the survey that a lot of folks, I would encourage you to download, the average individual is going to go back to work 3 days a week. They're still going to work from home. Typically, it looks like it's probably going to be a Monday, Friday scenario. And so we're expecting a tech refresh to take place in the home. When you come into the office, there's obviously a refresh happening there as well. And it's interesting being a longtime video guy and talking to folks about, being able to access and being able to work everywhere. COVID forced us to do it, and it's now the new norm. And so our partners and what we're talking about this week is getting ready for that next wave, getting ready for and embracing how you create meeting equality regardless of a location you're dialing in from. And let's face it, when we all went home, we grabbed everything we could. And now you're kind of saying, okay, so if this is going to be the continuum, how should I be architecting and what platform should I be providing? And give me the flexibility to switch between UI clients. And so those are really the main themes this week. And ongoing, the next step for us is helping our partners with the curriculum, the training, the onboarding, the marketing material. And so we've been very busy refreshing a lot of our tools to be ready for the next wave.
Awesome. Nick, thank you so much. Thanks for the party. I
Yeah,
appreciate
very
it.
welcome.
Have a good week.
All right, take care.
All right, with us now is Ilya Buchstein from Microsoft. And not just any part of Microsoft. It's not like he does the Xbox, which my 13-year-old would be incredibly impressed with me at this point. But you're with Teams.
I am. Yes, I'm the vice president for devices at Microsoft Teams.
Okay. One of the things about, and you're being very humble there, you're I'm not going to say you're in charge of Teams, but you're in charge of Teams.
I'm in charge. I don't even like to say I'm in charge. I've got the privilege of leading part of the engineering team that brings purpose-built versions of Teams to devices like room systems, desk phones. We integrate peripherals. Basically, our goal is to make Teams calling and meetings better, simpler, more delightful to use with devices.
Okay. Last time Enterprise Connect happened, 2019-ish, right? Teams was coming out, right? And then the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
And holy crap, Teams kind of took off for a minute.
Holy crap is a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So talk about that evolution, that oh my God, everybody's using it now. What the hell do we have to do?
Yeah. So it's the 5th birthday, actually, of Teams just last week, March 16th. We launched it here at an Enterprise Connect 5 years ago. And so pre-pandemic, if I remember right, we publicly said it was around 20 million monthly active users. And our last release, we had crossed 270 million and growing. So a lot of growth. And clearly it was a fascinating, exciting, exhilarating, super scary time to work on it as you're trying to operate a real-time communication service that's going like this in usage, while at the same time learning to work remotely, which we all did. So it's been a fascinating kind of experiment to live through, but super gratifying to see everyone from my kids in school now using Teams to businesses using Teams for how they work. So we're very focused on just continuing to make hybrid work, all kinds of work, better in every space. Whether you're at home, now you get to be on the go at a Starbucks again, to some of us being in the office, working with colleagues that are remote. We think There's so much more we can do to make that natural and more inclusive of everyone. So great journey, but lots more to go.
Yeah, absolutely. You kind of made reference there to make sure that all meetings are better, a better experience for folks. How are you guys doing that? How are you approaching that when it comes to meeting equity, making sure that everybody's included?
Yeah, I want to be also very direct in saying it's not all technology.
Yeah.
It is culture.
Okay.
We, with our employees, have published a set of principles that talk about monitoring chat and making sure that we can help with that by putting chat up on the front of room with our team's rooms and what we call front row. But people still have to look at chat. They have to look at whether people are raising hands and check in with people that are not there with you so that they feel included. So culture plays a big part. But we think we can help a lot by letting people express themselves digitally. I've talked about chat, raise hands, emotion reactions, by making meetings more about collaborating around content. So whether it's PowerPoint Live or all working in a Word document together, by bringing together the experience you have with Teams on your personal device, Teams on an iPad or a laptop, with what you have in the room system. So I can be whiteboarding on my iPad while people see remote participant video to make them feel more included. And actually bring in people who aren't in the meeting, but still feel included after the fact. So things like meeting recap and having everything you worked on be in a Teams chat or channel. Having a recording with action item extraction. Kind of get rid of that FOMO. And for those of us that are triple, quadruple booked, can't clone ourselves, giving us the chance to be included in those meetings we had to miss.
Yeah, that's huge. Ilya, thank you so much for your work. And thanks for joining us. How do people connect with you, or how do they find out about Teams?
Sure. First of all, thank you. I'm on LinkedIn, so Ilya Buchstein, ILYABU at Microsoft.com. ILYABU is my Twitter handle, and I'd love to get everyone's feedback on how we can make Teams better.
Thanks so much. All right, with me now is Shannon, because she's awesome, from Poly. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am fantastic, because for the first time, we get to see each other in person.
I know.
After like 2 or 3 years. And that's kind of what I want to talk about. You are part of the marketing team, putting on this event, right? Coming to this show. Talk for a second about what it's taken after 2 years of not doing these, after 2 years of not having customers and clients and partners here. What did that take to get back into it?
Yeah, honestly, I think we were all just really looking forward to getting back here and, reaching out. And the fact that we get to see each other in person again has just been fantastic. And I've just heard everyone be so happy about it. All of our events and functions and at the booth, giving each other hugs and, just getting to see each other in 3D again for the first time has been really special.
Yeah, absolutely. David joked at the beginning of this that we're all going to get sick because we are just hugging each other because, that's what we're doing now. When you look at this show specifically, Enterprise Connect, talk for a second as a marketer. Why does Poly come here? Why does Poly show here? What do you hope to get out of it and bring back?
Yeah. Well, again, for the first time since 2019, when we came out as Poly and rebranded from Plantronics and Polycom, this is the first time we're getting to show off our complete portfolio refresh and of our entire line of products, from our Poly Studio P series of working from home devices and video cameras, and then as well as speakerphones, headsets that have these noise block technology, which is huge if you're working from home or in a noisy and crowded environment, but then as well as our conference room solutions. And it's just wonderful to be able to show that off and talk about all our great partnerships and the work that we've been doing since we've all been together last.
I think people forget about the fact that the last Enterprise Connect was when Poly came out as Poly.
Yeah.
That's absolutely crazy. When you leave here, what are you taking away from this week in talking to customers and clients?
Yeah, I think we're leaving this just having reconnected with everyone and continuing the conversation of where we are today and what we're doing to, progress hybrid work and just how everyone stays connected and has that meeting equality, regardless of the location that they work from.
Very good. Shannon, thank you so much. How do people connect with you or Polly?
You can reach out to me on LinkedIn, Shannon Shamoon. I'm our PR manager. And you can also follow us at poly.com.
So that's it for AVNation TV's Connected here at Enterprise Connect 2022. We're all just giddy and awesome, and it's not because of the bars that are open. It's because we've all been able to get back together and be with people. I'm your host, David Danto, for AVNation TV, for the IMCCA. You guys know how to reach me if you need me. Have a great time, and we'll see you on the next show. Those numbers are moving, aren't they?
Yes.
Okay, that's a perfect outtake for this show. Okay.
All right, here we go. Good?
Good, except you got a wire on a wireless mic.
Oh, stop it. Don't stop thinking about it. All right.
Which is probably actually recording. And we know we have audio. Of their teams and Zoom during the pandemic. You know, it's sort of like the hockey stick, so give them some credit.
It's like my mother. I just, what? I've never done this before. Holy shit.
I'll string them together and send it out to him somehow tonight or tomorrow or tonight. That was for you, Mitch. Is he Mitch or Mitchell?
If you're Gina Sansevero, it's Marshall.
If you're Gina, it's Marshall. Mitch, Mitchell, or Marshall, either way.
Restart it.
Oh, no, it'll just embarrass Danto, which is fantastic. Like, I imagine him in his hotel room. Or Marshall, either one.